I see how my country change overnight. A suffering and upset boy, I feel to fight. My heart in pain, but a hole in strain. Because I know it's my own damn people to blame. When Sarah talk of nation building, back on my head a bell start to ring. It's all foreigners in key position. So tell me how are you plan to run this nation? Italian in front of we, Indian in front of we, Trinidadian in front of we. That's how they run in the country. I see Guyanese in front of we, too much Chinese in front of we, plenty Yardies in front of we. That's how they run in my country. And all the money going Western Union, because we the locals ain't getting none. Everybody just come in, full in the cup, and they got we just sitting back getting. Oh, jam it up, man. Why are you? Plenty melon. Hit it up, boys.
Welcome to the Late Night Show. Hope everything is okay. Hope everything is all right. I'm your host, Andy. Okay, what's happening on the lovely island of St. Martin? We begin with the news of Ludmina the Weever. Yes, Member of Parliament, Ludmina the Weever, independent member, formerly of the United People's Party, now independent, went on Lady Grey's breakfast lunch on Friday, where she was expected to announce which party she will be going on. Of course, she did not, but we all guessed it based on the way that she spoke. So, the first thing which she addressed is, of course, the fire that took place at 721, which is close to her building next to it, and also some of the things that is happening in government. That wasn't really like that was minimal. That was just politicking. You know, I just leave that on the side. What was interesting is to hear her take on the Mullet Bay saga. Of course, giving back Mullet Bay to the people has been this government's main thing for the past 3.5 years. But now the Weever apparently does not agree with giving back Mullet Bay to the people. Instead, you know, she cares about the environment and, you know, making sure that it's preserved. And I thought it was completely utter craziness when the MP was talking about it. But you make up, you decide for yourself. Take a listen.
I think briefly in that meeting, I said publicly that I always get a little bit worried when people talk about expropriating, because I don't think they understand when you expropriate land, if you do it for one, that means you can come and do it for all. And here you are having a country that you want people to invest in, whether it be foreigners or your residents, and they're going to have this fear over their head that just to cater to their friends, we're going to expropriate your land. That's the only thing that I had an issue with from day one. So do not use Mullet Bay saying you're going to expropriate it to give it to the people, because you know you don't want to give it to the people. Just be straight with that. You don't want to give it to the people. If you're talking about expropriating so that you can have the beach public with access, the beach already public by law. So don't try to mama guy me. That's my issue with it. And I'm going to go a little further with the expropriation. When you want to expropriate land, you better make sure you can pay the market value. So you have and I said this on the floor of Parliament, if you're gonna say you're gonna expropriate stuff, you better make sure you have market value there. But let us be real, St. Martin. Who has been bankrolling us? Who has been providing, let me say it in the proper terms, liquidity support? We need to tighten up our financial management, Grace. We have to tighten it up. You saw it. We I don't know if you paid attention to the meeting on Wednesday, which was a Committee of Finance meeting.
Correct.
We finally, hallelujah, eindelijk had a meeting on tax reform. Tax improvement is what the minister called it. So anyway you look at it, the changes that need to happen in this country to actually make money needs to happen. Is the government is not in a position to expropriate land and then fool the people that you're going to give it to them. That's not fair. That is not fair to do. And actually, what the way that it was presented and sold, not from the committee, not from the parliamentary inquiry in general, is that it's how do you say, it's misleading. It's very much misleading, because what we should be concerned with is protecting what remaining waterways we have, coming up with ways that we can protect the brown pelican, which is our national bird, because it's dying out. And I want to hear that we're providing, we're protecting what remaining areas we have so that there's public use of spaces, not further construction on it. Because one of the things that we also talked about in this course at USM was the teacher asked us, it's a professor from Delft, and TU Delft, and she was asking, what public spaces do you have, for children? We don't have public spaces for children. And then a couple of us said, oh, but Belvedere has a park, a playground, but it's all broken. Yeah. And it's all open space. So there's no shade from trees. When you look at parks in anywhere, people want to say, oh, let's go to tall building, to high-rise building here. When you look at countries that have high-rise buildings or cities, they have green spaces.
All of them have green spaces.
They have green spaces. So right. Where's our green spaces? Yeah. So I'm not really trying to, to go off of the Mulla Bay topic, but you saw what concerns me more of a Mulla Bay topic. And I'm sure if Miss Reedy is listening in, Reedy's going to be like, well, what about the beach and, protecting the turtles? That's what I want to hear. No one wants to come to our country to go on a beach where your beach is going to be absolutely filled and there's no wildness about it. Like Mulla Bay is one of our beaches where you need to make sure very much watch what's happening there, because I don't think I want Mulla Bay to look like Phillipsburg. That's me, my personal vision. Mm-hmm. I don't want Mulla Bay to look like Phillipsburg. But I also don't want to stop small business owners from existing, but in a way that is in balance with our environment. Right. So I don't want Mulla Bay to look like Orient. People want some wildness of a beach. Yeah. They just don't want to, and that's our last space. So so think about it in that aspect. And I just don't think that they have been honest about why they want to expropriate Mulla Bay and why they're painting.
Why do you think they want to expropriate it?
I am not about thinking and speculation. I will keep it to the point where it's very obvious who they want to keep providing for. And I will say, stop fooling the people off. Because you know that the same people in government that wanted to go and protect people that followed me home that had to get a security detail are the same people in government that always are catering to their friends.
What? But if we have a Phillipsburg in Mulla Bay, then we have two places where tourists can actually visit. How she knocking down the plans for Mulla Bay when nothing has been done for the past 25 years? What is wrong with this lady? What?
I can share this. I have been asked by everyone. I've had a dialogue with everyone. I wanted to take a lot of people were assuming where I'm going to go. I make that decision, Ludi alone, and in conjunction with the 266 people that voted for me. What I have been doing for the last 2 months is having a dialogue with that entire support mechanism. And actually I've gone beyond it, saying, hey, this is where my head's at, this is what I'm thinking, this is who I've spoken to everyone, and I will not do that without the input of the people that have supported me, and I'm not done doing that, but I want them to know that I've messaged some this week saying, I know I didn't come to you yet, but I am, sorry, I had a broken foot first, and then after you had the holidays, and now I have a fire, but I hope to do it soon. And I do want to say this, that the first time around, I ran with a party. It was a very last minute decision. I felt like I didn't have a lot of time to campaign because it was so late. It's not that I intentionally didn't go by people. I had no time to do it, and I had no preparation. And now now that I've had the experience there, I've had the experience to learn characters that I'm in government with that I know I never want to be with again. Then I know what I want. So where I align myself, it's going to be based on my support system, the ones that voted me in, but also my experience of government in the last, I think now going on 3 years.
That was harsh.
That it is what it is.
Right.
I'm going on the last 3 years because I will align myself with someone that I knows has the St. Martin people at heart, that want to
yourself.
Want and beforehand, you know, that's why I said there's so many things that come into play after my experience in government that now I didn't know before because I didn't have that.
Yeah.
You know, people can tell you everything. They can say, oh, numbers, games, whatever. I was pro business. I was certain things, and you fit somewhere, you know. And now after being in there, you got to look at, okay, if I have to choose from within here, where's the best alignment? And I have to be able to defend that, and I have to be able to look the people in the eye and say that I truly believe this is the best place for me, and this is why, because they have your interest at heart and not their friends for free bottle service. So
She joined the DP. She joining the DP. I put in my head on the block. She joining the Democratic Party because that's the same rhetoric the DP has when it comes to Millard Bay. So I know for sure she joining the DP. Nobody tell me anything different. Nobody. Okay, so at the end of the month, she will be announcing that she will be joining the DP party. That's for sure. In some other news, the prisoners of St. Martin are eating better than us, I must say, like better than me for sure. I don't wish I was locked up. I was locked up before, it wasn't nice. But in any way, the menu, the Minister of Justice was in Parliament on Thursday, and she gave a whole outline of the menu items that the prisoners get. And my God, it's like a 5-star buffet. Take a look.
Several members of Parliament have asked about the accuracy of the photos and information shared in the previous presentation. To answer these questions on how current the photos are of the meal served, I have requested the document be prepared food over the last week. This gives us a good overview of the meals that are prepared for the inmates, taking into consideration the dietary needs and other restrictions. In addition to this, an overview of the weekly meals can be shared with Parliament if desired. The chef and the inmates who are a part of the cook team at the prison, paying attention to the statements made in Parliament, opted to share as well and honor the minister's request. I'd like to draw your attention to the date and time that is listed on these photographs for accuracy. I would have liked for a video that was also shared with us to be able to be played, so the element of doubt could be removed. But they are quite proud of what they prepare on a daily basis for the inmates, and it is now on screen. Do they get fruits or yogurt? Under normal circumstances, inmates receive fruits as often as possible. Yogurt is not provided by the prison to the inmates. However, there is an extensive list of foods, items that inmates can purchase themselves from the canteen list. What times are meals served? Breakfast at 7 a.m., lunch at 11:30 a.m., supper before 3 p.m. to be eaten when wanted or desired. What time does the kitchen close? The kitchen closes at 3:30 p.m. However, Harvey Bay is currently has a space under construction in the recreational room where the inmates will be able to reheat and or cook their own food. This space is nearly completed, upon which inmates will be able to use it during their recreational time. Whose responsibility is it to serve the inmates their meals? Under normal circumstances, the inmates who work in the kitchen serves other inmates their food under supervision of guards as part of their task. However, under the rare circumstance of a strike where inmates are being forbidden to work by the leaders of the strike, the guards are then subjected to share out the food.
Welcome to the Late Night Show. We have a good one for you. Let's begin.
Character SXM, Addictive Sundays, Mr. T and Friends. Character SXM. Addictive Sundays. Mr. T and Friends.
At SXM, we're taking travel and tourism to new heights. Here we boast spacious check-in areas, 10 passport control points, comfortable departure lounges, and finally, there's an airport in the Caribbean that takes your travel plans as seriously as you do. Princess Juliana International Airport.